Hi, I'm Richard Gandon. This short tutorial provides an introduction to recording narrations and voiceovers for your audio-visual productions. We'll briefly be looking at script preparation, voice training and self-consciousness, room acoustics, the characteristics of microphones, recommended microphones for narration, and microphone placement and handling plosives. Please note the recommendations contained in this introductory talk are taken from my own limited experience, so please don't take the information as gospel. Please check other ideas, views and recommendations, especially when choosing microphones and associated equipment. Let's start with script preparation. The crucial step needs to deliver factually correct information, complement the imagery and not describe it. Viewers can interpret the picture details for themselves, and provide information a viewer cannot see, for example, the name of a person depicted by a statue, the reason why you took the picture, a poem or prose. Once drafted, read your script out loud a number of times to yourself and then to others in order to gain confidence. Listen and take account of positive criticism. Rewrite any tongue twisters. In other words, those phrases you struggle to say clearly, and if you have time, lay the script aside for 2 to 3 weeks, then read it again. Once you're happy with the script, you're ready to record. Or are you? Unless you're a broadcaster, actress or actor, your voice may never have been trained for clear delivery. Experts recommend that you speak slowly so that audiences can hear every word, speak clearly and avoid idiomatic forms of speech, and animate your voice. In other words, vary the intonation of your voice up and down. Do it just enough to deliver a sound full of feeling and emotion for the listener to enjoy. Finally, most people get self-conscious when recording, so before starting to record, read out loud the first couple of paragraphs, imagining you're speaking to a small audience. This will help build your confidence, and once achieved, you can start recording. Just remember, you can record and re-record sentences and paragraphs until you're happy with them. Storage on computers costs nothing these days. Now consider the environment where the recording will take place. The ideal room is small and has thick carpet on the floor, long drapes on the windows, plenty of soft furnishings. You can always hang up blankets if the former are lacking. The aim of the above is to stop or minimize reverberation. In other words, to stop sound reflecting off surfaces and spoiling recordings. If in doubt, shout. If you hear even the faintest echo, add the above or find a different room. If possible, the room should be away from noisy roads. Double glaze to reduce the outside noise. Oh, and draw the curtains. Also think about the time of day. For example, when children are at school, neighbours are out, and the church bells aren't ringing. Now let's consider the bewildering choice of microphones available. There are many specialist mics for a wide range of uses. For example, different sorts of drums, lead and backing vocals, choirs, orchestras, wind instruments, pianos, acoustic instruments, home recording and many others. We'll try and focus on microphones that are good for narration. Let's first focus on the key characteristics of microphones, so hopefully you'll understand the terminology used by manufacturers. When looking for an appropriate microphone for narration, one of the characteristics often shown is a graph of polar patterns, also known as areas or cones of acceptance. But what do they mean, and how might they help you focus on the appropriate choice? Microphone polar pattern graphs depict the sound pickup profile of a microphone. Polar pattern graphs are two-dimensional diagrams that attempt to show a three-dimensional 360-degree field around a microphone. The microphone is located at the centre and points to the 0-degree point on the graph. A plot line on the graph shows the microphone's sensitivity to sound arriving from different directions. When the plot line shows up relative to the polar plot's concentric circles, that are separated by 5 decibels by the way, It shows the microphone sensitivity to sound arriving from that angle. The slide shows a range of polar patterns available. My preference for a single-person narration is the cardioid or heart-shaped pattern, as it focuses the area of acceptance to the front and rejects sounds from the back. For two-person narration, try the figure 8 polar pattern or stereo 2-diaphragm microphones. Now listen and watch what happens when I walk around an AKG 2000 condenser microphone with a cardioid polar pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Note how the sound trailed off as I moved to the back of the microphone and then came back to a good level across an area of acceptance of about 60 degrees. This is a good angle as it allows you to move your head a bit when recording without affecting volume and quality, but keeps out a lot of background noise. Another key characteristic of a microphone is the diaphragm size, which ranges from small to large. For me, the larger the better, as the bigger diaphragms are more sensitive and capture sound more accurately. However, the choice will be dependent on your budget. The third characteristic is the type of microphone. There are 3 types. Firstly, there are dynamic microphones with their moving coil magnetic diaphragms, which are a versatile standard type. I can recommend these for narration. Secondly, there are condenser microphones that have thin conductive diaphragms that deliver high fidelity and excellent sound quality. I can highly recommend these for narration, even though they need a power supply, normally from a battery or from a computer USB connection. And finally, there are ribbon microphones that have light metal ribbon pickups. However, this is old technology and therefore not recommended if you are buying new. The final characteristic is the microphone connector. There are 4 types: the 1/4 inch phono, the 3.5mm phono, the USB and the XLR 3-pin. There are many other types, but these are the ones regularly seen. You'll need to check your recording device to see what sockets are available so you can align your microphone purchase correctly. For example, your laptop is likely to have both a 3.5mm phono microphone socket and also a USB socket. You may wish to record sound straight to your camera while filming video, and the socket provided is normally a 3.5mm phono. The Lexicon mixer with USB computer interface shown in the slide has both XLR 3-pin and 1/4 inch phono sockets. Now let's have a look and listen to the quality of some example microphones. This Zoom H4 stereo recorder sounds like this and would be considered acceptable. This Shure dynamic cardioid microphone sounds like this and would be considered acceptable, but you would need to raise the volume. This Rode Video Pro cardioid microphone connected to a Canon 650D camera sounds like this and would be considered acceptable. This Canon EOS 650D inbuilt microphone sounds like this and would be considered unacceptable. This Rode stereo condenser type mic with 2 cardioid pattern diaphragms connected to a Panasonic GH4 camera sounds like this and would be considered acceptable. This iPhone 6 recorder sounds like this and would be considered acceptable. This laptop inbuilt microphone sounds like this and would be considered unacceptable. This Rode NT1000 studio condenser microphone with cardioid pattern connected to a Reaper digital audio workstation sounds like this and would be considered acceptable. This tutorial has been produced on this microphone. Now let's move on to the final part of this tutorial, microphone placement and plosives. So you're nearly ready to record, but where do you place your microphone in relation to your mouth, the sound source? Are there any other factors to consider? Depending on the sensitivity of your microphone, you need to sit or stand about 8 to 14 inches away from it. Obviously, the microphone needs to be pointed at your mouth so that you are speaking to the area of acceptance. However, care needs to be taken. The preferred position would be the centre of the area or cone of acceptance, but this, as we have seen, is the most sensitive area, especially to speech plosives. Plosives are consonants such as p, b, t and k that we all tend to pronounce explosively and can cause distorted speech and peaking. Have a listen and look at the following to see how plosives look.
Pop, crack, tick, break.
The impact of these, if speaking to the centre of the microphone, can be reduced by using a pop shield in front of the microphone, using a pair of old tights stretched over a coat hanger and positioned in front of the microphone. Another option to reduce plosives, if you don't have a pop shield, is to direct your voice 1 to 2 inches away from the microphone, but still within the area of acceptance. You may have to try out slightly different positions until you find one with which you are happy and that gives you a good clear sound. Now you are truly ready to record with either your chosen recorder or computer software. Open this up. Most computer solutions will have a standard transport bar as highlighted. If you're lucky, you may even have a meter to ensure correct levels. If you do have a meter, talk into the microphone and set the gain to about -18 decibels, that's 18 dB. This should give you plenty of headroom to cope with plosives without peaking. Press the red record button. Read your script and then press the stop button to finish recording. Play it back and listen to it. Re-record it if it's not to the standard you want. Once you're happy with it, you can find the narration file, for example a .wav file, and add it to your AV. Aligning visual content with audio narration content is covered in other tutorials, including the AV software provider's own tutorials. I hope that you have found this brief tutorial a useful introduction to microphones and recording narration and voiceovers. I hope you can use it, and until the next time, goodbye.